Hello, my name is Bruno. I'm the director of ABICS, the Brazilian Instant Coffee Association. And first I would like to thank the Specialty Coffee Association to open this space here to talk about instant coffee. But before talking about how we are promoting the consumption or the increase of consumption of instant coffee in Brazil, I would like first to talk about Brazil in terms of instant coffee. Brazil has the biggest capacity in the world. In 2020, we produce 117,000 tons of instant coffee, which is more or less 5.1 million bags. From those 95,000 tons we exported, which is more or less 4.1 million bags, and 22,000 tons we sold in the internal market. The last figures that I have of Brazil and the other countries that produce and export coffee are from Lendl Mills in 2017. And Brazil was leading with a production of 104,000 tons and with export of 79,000 tons. We have 6 instant coffee plants, and they are located in the main regions of production of green coffee, Arabica and Conilons. We have in Paraná, Cacique and Iguaçu. We have in São Paulo, Nestlé and Cocan. We have in Minas, Café Campinho, and we have in Espírito Santo, Realcafé. By the way, Espírito Santo is a small state, but it responds to more than 70% of the production of Conilon in Brazil. Espírito Santo by itself, it's the second largest producer of Conilon, just after Vietnam. The total capacity today we have, adding up all the 6 companies, is 133,000 tons of soluble per year, which is roughly 5.7 million bags. Apart from the capacity that we already have new investments, around $240 to $60 million on expansions and new plants. We have Iguaçu, increasing the freeze-dried capacity in Paraná. We have Realcafé, increasing the spray-dried capacity in Espírito Santo. We have a new plant of Cacique, of spray-dried, being built and almost finished in Espírito Santo also. And we have, just in the beginning of the construction, the first new plant from Olan, also in Espírito Santo, and is going to be a plant of spray-dried and freeze-dried. Brazil exports more than 110 countries, and with a revenue of more than $600 million for Brazil. But more important than that, Brazil instant coffee is still the product that is opening the markets, new markets. Usually, most of the markets that used to be tea drinkers and became also coffee drinkers, the first product that came in was instant coffee. And this continues to happen. You see in Asia, where you have the biggest growth of consumption of instant coffee, is already starting also to drink roasted ground coffee. Of course, to export to all those countries, we have to have all the certifications. And we have all of them, and of course the most important, FSC, ISO, the kosher, halal, and also all the other certifications for niche products, for niche markets. Talk a little bit about the share on the exports of Brazil. The instant coffee has roughly 9% of the share, and the green beans, they lead the exports from Brazil with Arabica with 79%, and Canéfora, Robusta and Conilon with 11% of the exports. Talk a little bit about how much is consumed by the instant coffee in terms of quality. The average consumption of the whole of all the industries of instant coffee in Brazil is 80% of Conilon and 20% of Arabica. Of course, most of the products, they are 100% Conilons, and we have some blends with Arabica and Conilon, and we have a few products for niche markets which are 100% Arabica. Despite having all this capacity, all the know-how, the history of the instant coffee in Brazil, when you look at the consumption, it's still very small. Brazil is a country that basically consumes roast and ground coffee. 95% of consumption is roast and ground coffee, and less than 5% is instant coffee. We see a growth in the last 4 to 5 years, and of course this was just because of the work ABICS is doing in order to promote and increase the consumption. So having all the knowledge, having the capacity, having the blends, the different raw materials, and the varieties, the diversity that we can have, all the products we have the spray, we have the aglo, we have a freeze, we have extract, coffee oil. We could not understand why the consumption of instant coffee is not growing. It was still a very small consumption, and it is small and not growing. So we had to understand what was missing, what was our mistake, where we're doing things wrong, and how could we improve. So we need to understand better what was the perception of the consumer, and to understand what we had to do. So the first thing we decided was, of course, to make a research and try to understand what was going in the mind of the consumer regarding instant coffee. So we started to do the research, and it was very interesting because we find out that a lot of consumers in Brazil didn't even know the existence of instant coffee. When you get into the supermarket, in the shelves, you see roast and ground, whole beans, capsules, you see pods, you see all different types, and the soluble is there someplace in the bottom of the shelves, and very few people realize that was also coffee, and that could be something to be enjoyed. So it was clear that the main problem we had was communication, actually lack of communication with the consumer. We were not giving information, we were not making advertisement, we were not teaching, we were not explaining what was instant coffee. We had even people that use instant coffee in the filter. So that's not the consumer fault, that's the industry fault. So we have to pass the information, we have to pass the knowledge, we have to advise to the consumer how they can explore, how they can enjoy, which moments, with what type of mixes they can do, what type of formulations. I mean, the possibilities you have with the instant coffee, they are enormous. So we created this project, which is called Explore and Enjoy Instant Coffee Brazil. And we are making a lot of advertisements, we are making tasting sessions, we are using a lot of internet, we are using social media, we have courses, and we see the people, they really want to try, they want to taste, they bring also new ideas when they see the possibilities they have with the instant coffee. So we made some pieces of advertisement, which I'm going to show you right now. One video, for example, is basically to explain in a simple way the complex process of making instant coffee from the green bean. So we try to make an infographic video, simple to understand. And also the other piece of advertisement is just how people can enjoy instant coffee in different moments, and in any moment, in different formulations, in different mix. So the idea is to take, is not to get the moments that we already have to drink our coffee, but to bring new moments to drink coffee.
Brazil is a country known for its vibrant culture and dynamism. And coffee is at the heart of this rich identity. Arabica, Robusta, and Conalon. Countless blends with distinct aromas and infinite flavors to be discovered, especially when it comes to instant coffee. You are invited to explore the rich variety of tastes, whether it be nature, following a trail with breathtaking views, or in the city, heading to work, where no 2 days are the same. Wherever your day takes you, coffee is there too, making every experience that little bit better. An instant coffee with attitude, distinctive, suitable in any beverage, in any mix or dessert. A coffee that allows you to unleash your creative side in recipes and flavors, offering you unparalleled taste experiences. A versatile coffee. Creative. Explore the variety, flavors, aromas, blends, creativity. Explore this universe with Brazilian instant coffee, the way you want it.
Well, the results are coming. We see on the last 4 years a growth of 2 digits, around 16% in 4 years since we started the project. So it's working. So we still have a lot to do. But there was still something that was missing, was how to better evaluate the instant coffee. How the professionals could talk the same language, how the cuppers, the R&D, when they cup an instant coffee, they don't mix up with methodologies of a green coffee or roasting ground coffee. So the green coffee has the methodology of a cupping, of tasting. The roasting ground, specialty coffee, everybody has their own methodology. And we don't have for the instant coffee. So we decided that we should have this, but we should have something simple. Therefore we decided and we invited actually more than 30 professionals from different areas, from the instant coffee industry, from roasting ground, from coffee shops, baristas, and even scientists linked to the area of beverages and food. And this, we are almost getting to the final conclusion, but basically so far we are trying to separate in 3 categories. We are calling right now, is not definitely, but we are calling excellent, differentiated, and conventional. It doesn't mean that one is better or worse than the other. That's not the idea. The idea is to talk the attributes of each category, because each category is focused in one group of consumers. So the idea of having this sensorial analysis or this methodology for instant coffee has 2 ways. First is to bring this type of information in a simple way to the consumer, so the consumer can respond, can give a feedback to the industry, and the industry, when they see it in cup, they also can separate, they can define in which category that instant coffee or that group of consumer matches. And in each category you have different attributes. And then we try to work the intensity of each attribute in each category. So that way we have, in a simple way, all the information necessary to decide what coffee to bring, what type of blend, what type of roasting, if spray, freeze, agro. So the margin of error when launching a new product will be much smaller. So but the basic thing, since we started with this big group of professionals, was very clear for everybody that the first thing that we have is to think about instant coffee when we decide to develop a product or go to a tasting room. that was a big pain for everybody whenever they had to sit and try instant coffee when they are most of the time tasting roast and ground coffee. So this was a big effort for everybody, but was very clear. The first thing that we had to do was to be very clear that instant coffee is a completely different product, a completely different process, a completely different analysis. This is just an example of the attributes and the special attributes, the way we're gonna separate in each category. We have a set of attributes for that category, and once we have that all together, we're gonna have the intensity of each attribute in each category. So when you go to one type of category, you know that that category will have a set of attributes, and what we're gonna be working is only on those attributes and the intensity of each one. So you already eliminate a big variety of coffee. You already came to the right category. It's just a question of the intensity of the attributes in each category. This is going to be something very easy and very helpful, and hopefully this methodology will be not only for Brazil. Of course, the immediate need, the immediate target is for the Brazilian market, but it's going to be something open for any country, any industry, wherever they are, in whatever country they are. And of course, this is our ambition, that this could be accepted and can be helpful for everybody, everywhere, present and future. Present, everybody knows, Solúvel is kind of the most practical way to make a coffee. No need of any type of brewing equipment. You can make all sorts of mixtures, 3-in-1, cappuccino, lattes. Usually it's a very competitive price. It doesn't have a spent ground coffee. It's 100% soluble solids, and is also responsible for opening markets. So this is no news. This is the present. This is the whole the history of the instant coffee. What we are looking is for this new instant coffee, the new, let's say, a new era of the instant coffee, which would be bringing to the market new qualities, different usage of raw materials, including different blends, improving the technology. The specialty instant coffee, we already see, I know at least a dozen of companies, most of them in the United States, and they are doing incredible job and making very special instant coffee, some of them mixed with microground roasted coffee. So this is getting to a different level, and this is bringing more people. This is adding value, and this is creating the curiosity. But most important of all, what we need, and that's the future of instant coffee, is to bring new moments where you're gonna be or drinking or eating coffee. So you doing that, adding new moments that you can have coffee, can be in a liquid, ready to drink, can be in a mixture, can be in a cake or ice cream or a coffee jelly, whatever. We have to bring all the opportunities. And this, the only way is via the instant coffee. So that's the main purpose or the main target for the future, to bring more moments where people will be drinking or eating coffee. Well, that was what I had to present. Once again, I want to thank the Specialty Coffee Association for the time, the space they are giving us to talk a little bit about instant coffee, and especially instant coffee from Brazil. Thank you very much.